Hello everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. Today we're going to be looking at a piece from a smaller artist. She does a lot of digital paintings, and so let's jump right into it. So in our initial introduction, we're obviously met with this massive mushroom, right? It takes up an incredible amount of the spatial composition, but not only that, it sits in the center. So whenever a piece or an element of a piece of art sits in the center, it always emphasizes itself. And we are always drawn to the center, of course. So I think that's what really draws us into the center. It commands the center region to accent and emphasize itself to the highest degree possible. Not only does it emphasize itself through the aforementioned placement that we just talked about, but it also emphasizes itself through this contrast. So technically, I think we can call this a dark on light contrast. It's a little hard because it's all, really lightly colored, but it is contrasting itself against this kind of neutral green netting background here. So that's always important to note. So it emphasizes and it accents itself through both placement as well as contrast. So notice this background here. If that looks familiar to you, it's probably because that is from the Vaporwave art movement. And the Vaporwave art movement combines a ton of different things. Sometimes it combines Renaissance-esque sculptures or classical sculptures with this kind of 80s or 90s feel, some of the 90s early internet feel as well. It's also a music genre or a kind of a pretty specific subgenre, and it gained a lot of popularity in the early 2010s. And you guys probably remember the videos. They started off kind of as a meme, but it grew much bigger than that to influence art, to influence music, and it really stayed. So of course we see the echoes of that here as well. The background has this kind of grid paper or netting, which is really reminiscent of the early internet, and this green also is part of that as well. Gives a kind of a liminal feel as well. If you know the Liminal Pool series by Jared Pike, it reminds me of that as well, so that's always important to note. Notice the cartoon style on this mushroom here. It's really light, it's really curved. There's no really sharp lines. There's lots of curves. It indicates a sense of movement, a slight sense of movement as well. As you see, it curves. Let's see how we could do this. Kind of curves out and around like that. And then there's these cute little spots. It's kind of like a purple Amanita muscaria mushroom, if you know what that is. But yeah, this cartoon style really brings this in, and it really gives a sense of life to the piece. So I think that's really important to note whenever we're taking a look at this. So moving on, we're going to talk about the literal symbol of the mushroom itself. So the mushroom is a very archaic and ancient symbol. There was something called the Mushroom Man that was discovered in the caves of Algeria. I believe it was southeastern Algeria, kind of in the plains or plateau region there. And what they found was a mushroom man, what appeared to be a shaman figure. It was depicted in 2D, and it dates to about 9,000 years ago. So with that, we can indicate that mushrooms have been used in kind of ritualistic, shaman, or spiritual settings for well over countless thousands of years. We don't want to put a definitive example on that because these things most likely go much further than we even realize. But at least 8 to 9,000 years ago, humans were using mushrooms to have this higher sense of divinity, with this higher sense or interconnectedness with the spiritual realm. So that's always really important to note. So the mushroom itself is a really archaic and a really classic symbol. This, of course, the glow gives this a really psychedelic effect. We have a bit of marks here which indicate shimmering, so that also enforces the glow as well, and that trim is just stunning. It really draws you in, and it feels like you're looking at something that's even bigger than yourself. So the glow indicates a sense of divinity or a sense of higher purpose, maybe a sense of rarity as well, and those all indicate a sense of rarity or a sense of importance, a sense of that this thing isn't just a simple mushroom, that it has the power to influence and impact things much greater than just a simple piece of a simple mushroom. So that's really important to note. It gives us a sense of divinity, and it gives us this sense that it's extremely important because it is glowing, and by nature it is holding the aspect of the divine, which is, of course, the light or the glow. So I think that's really important to note. Gives us a really cartoonish but divine and even early internet feel here as well. So those all combine, and I think that creates a really memorable piece. So we're going to take a look at the artist's original page. So right here you can see she does quite a bit of painting. She does a lot of physical paintings as well. So it's always important to note. She only has about 76 followers, so I wanted to give her a bit more exposure because it's quite clear she is a dedicated artist and quite talented one at that. Look at how cute this is. And then here's the original piece that we're looking at today. So it's from about early 2021, so even before the Apollo Art Exchange even started, that's when the mushroom piece was first created. You see she does a lot of drawings. I do believe this piece is a digital painting, but you'll see she does physical paintings as well, physical, what looks like pen or Sharpie drawings. It's hard to tell, but she has a really diverse style. She goes everywhere from kind of these natural inspired pieces all the way to symbols of obviously archaic death, but she even combines that with the flowers you'll see on the side of the skull. So she really hops around, shows a lot of different art styles, a lot of versatility with this artist here, as she obviously depicts different things, but she also goes across from a physical painting to the digital paintings and all around. She also has pins of this piece if you're interested. Yeah, so they're available at her Redbubble link. You can see that in her bio. And she has a lot of different pieces. Like I said, really wide versatility. She does physical paintings as well as digital paintings, so she does a ton of different things as well. So we're going to end this off real quick. I'm just going to go for the overall statement. So I would say, overall, this psychedelic digital painting presents a mushroom or an archaic mushroom in center emphasis, which glows with a high sense of divinity and purpose, in contrast against an early internet vaporwave influence. So I hope you guys enjoyed this piece. I hope you guys learned a little bit at the mushroom. Go check out some of her other pieces, and also go dive a bit deeper into the history of the mushroom. It's incredibly important, and I think that people are just going to learn more and more about mushrooms and how important they are, whether it's them as a kind of pioneer or a vanguard species, or them in the context of kind of spiritual, religious, or divine rituals in the context of, say, the psilocybin psychedelic mushroom. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. Go check out some of our other pieces. Go learn a bit more about the mushroom. And we'll see you guys on the next Apollo Art Analysis. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.